Hello, my name is Ann Morgan, and welcome to our Giving Circle this April. We want to welcome all of you. And, I have to get going here. Okay, we want to thank all of our volunteers. These giving events would not happen without all the volunteers. We really appreciate their work and time. And if you're interested, we have a couple of opportunities coming up for right now. For Facebook, we're looking for someone to post pictures from our meetings to our private page, and that's just seen by 100+ women members. That's private. And then also, we're looking for an assist to Lisa O'Hearn that does our public-facing page. So if you're a social media whiz, or you don't have to be a whiz, if you're interested in social media and are on, please let us know if you'd like to help us. And then also membership administration, we're looking for someone that can help process new members. And that we can tell you more about it. If you're interested and you like spreadsheets and email, let us know. So many volunteers. Thank you. And we want to thank Yenny Bexel, who's here from Spot. Where are you, Yenny? I saw you. She's been sponsoring us from day one, and because of her sponsorship, all of your donations, 100% goes to the nonprofit awards. So thank you, Yenny. And we want to thank the Door County Community Foundation. They facilitated our payment processing, and because of them, the nonprofits received 2 checks rather than 100 checks or more. And so we really appreciate that. Thank you to the foundation. So tonight we're going to hear the nonprofit presentations. We'll have a business update, hear from the Client Change Coalition of Door County, and we'll do our drawing and announce awards. Our goal is to connect like-minded women to make a meaningful impact in our community. And this is supported by our core values that you can remember by community first. And I encourage you to look at our website and you can see more detail because these have been instrumental in helping us to get to where we are today. With that, we're going to start moving on to the presentations. And so as you listen to the presentations tonight, we encourage you to think about questions to ask because your questions are important to help us better understand the nonprofit and how they're going to use the funds and also to better inform our voting. So please think about questions to ask. And also the presenters are being brave and coming before you tonight and sharing a nonprofit that they're excited and passionate about. So please give them your full attention and lots of applause. And with that, I'd like to introduce Lana Bio. She is speaking for nominator Brenda Cock for Crossroads at Big Creek. Welcome, Lana.
Good evening, everyone. Imagine it's Tuesday morning. A school bus pulls up in a parking lot surrounded by 200 acres of woods, wetlands, and open sky. 20 third graders pour out. Some of them have never walked a trail before, never held a net over a creek, never looked through a microscope at a living thing that they just found in the wild. By the end of the morning, every one of them has. That's what happened at Crossroads at Big Creek, right here in Door County, for 4,000 children in 2025. And here's what strikes me every time I think about it. We have 200 acres right here in Door County where we experience is available to every child, every single family, every single neighbor, completely free every day of the year. Crossroads at Big Creek exists so that where you come from, what your family earns, has nothing to do with whether you can fall in love with the natural world. Crossroads is a learning center and a nature preserve with a simple but powerful mission to inspire environmental stewardship in learners of all ages and from all backgrounds. We have maintained 200 acres of trails open to the public free of charge every day of the year. Hundreds of families visit each week to hike, snowshoe, ski, or simply breathe. But we're more than the trails. We bring on hands-on science to local schools, to the Boys and Girls Club, to homeschooled families, to learning and retirement, to the Scouts, to daycare children who may be touching a creek a creek creature for the very first time. 200 acres of open free, 124 active volunteers, 10 partner organizations. Everything we offer, every program, every trail, every learning experience is free always. But something remarkable has happened at Crossroads. In just 2 years, our community has found us, and in a big way. In 2023, we had 5,900 participants in our programs. And in 2025, we had 11,200 participants in our programs. Participation has nearly doubled. Partner organizations are asking for more programs. Families are returning again and again, and we want to say yes to all of it. But growth requires investment. Our trails need to be safer and more accessible. Our classrooms need better tools. The Door County needs us. For more than a third of the county households and over half of Sturgeon-based students live below the ALICE threshold. For many families, Crossroad isn't just a nice experience. It's our only access point to the natural world. Your support tonight will power two things. First, it will put better tools in the hands of our educators, field microscopes, creek sampling nets, vision equipment that lets kids see what the world looks like what a dragonfly does. It would fund the Trail Tale Story Walk along our ADA trail, where children can borrow books and discover nature through story. Second, it would help us build safer access along our North Bridge, the heart of our most used program area. We have 3 gathering spaces, improved boardwalks, and year-round creek access for visitors of every ability level. These aren't just wishes. These are ready-to-go projects, waiting on resources to move forward. We've already raised $2,000 toward this work. Tonight, you can help us cross the finish line. 11,000 people came to Crossroads last year for programming. 11,000. You can help us, and we still have to turn programming away. Every woman in this room cares about this community. That's why you're here. And I believe that when you imagine a Door County where every child, regardless of income, ability, or background, has a place to discover the natural world, you recognize that Crossroads is doing exactly that work. We just need your partnership to keep doing it. My name is Lana Bio, and I'm grateful for what the 100 women who care makes possible in this county. Thank you.
Thank you, Lana. Now we're going to move to our Q&A. And before we get going, I just want a reminder that we have 5 minutes for Q&A, and Ann will be timing it. We do a timer, so it's fair for everybody. And in fairness to all our presenters this evening, please, we ask that you use questions only during Q&A, no testimonials. And also, please try and keep the questions succinct so the nonprofit can use their allotted time to provide more information. With that, I'd like to welcome Samantha Sam Cohen, Executive Director for Crossroads.
Hi, she mentioned the ALICE. Is that low income, or what does ALICE stand for?
It's asset limited. So you're talking about people not just below the poverty line, but you're also talking about people who live below kind of the cost of living. So poverty is decided on a state level. ALICE considers also local community.
Just a quick, where are you located and how large?
We're located in Sturgeon Bay. We are a fairly small but mighty nonprofit. Our operating budget is just below $500,000, and we have a humble staff of 4. One of our staff members is actually retiring, which we're very excited for her, but it does mean that it makes it a little bit harder. And 80% of our funds all go towards our programming. The other 20% you're talking about for insurance, which is really expensive, costs of audit, electricity, the non-glamorous stuff.
Okay, this
Question comes from someone online. How do you decide on programming? For example, learning in retirement. Do you use surveys?
So we work with Learning in Retirement. If you're not familiar with them in Door County, they're a separate nonprofit. Lana mentioned that we work with 10. We actually work with closer to 30 nonprofit organizations here. And we work with them and their conglomerate to help decide on how we can best support their programming. And so that's the same with a lot of other nonprofits we work with. We work to meet them where their needs are, and we work with them in order to deliver on our mission the best we can. Yay!
Okay. And where does this funding predominantly come from today?
So majority of our funds come from private entities. So we have been very lucky. Recently, we got a few federal grants to do restoration work. So that's on top of our operations and then also our programming budget. But I would say close to 95% of our funding comes from private members.
Do you charge for your programming?
No, we do not. And it is the best price that you can pay for anything is free. It is also the most expensive for us to figure out how to fund it. And I'll expand on that just a little bit. That also means for our partner programs, we also work hard to provide everything for free if it involves our mission. So the scouts who use our facilities are free. When we work with Doorway to Learning and they come once a week to our facility, they are free. We get 44-year-olds, not 44, but 44-year-olds once a week on our preserve, and it is a great fun time for all the kids. This last week, they were splashing around in mud puddles. It was very cute.
Sam, I'm wondering, UW Oshkosh does their water testing program out of there.
Yes.
Do you get anything out of that, or do they just use your space?
So yes to all of that. So we do get stuff out of that. So UW Oshkosh, it's a great partnership. It's a very long-standing one. They actually do pay a rental fee, but it's very nominal. It's $1,000 for the summer. And then we work in collaboration with them because monitoring well water is really important for the health of our county. And equally, the students, we also offer opportunities for them to further their summer experience. So if they want to work with us on our kids programming or anything else, they're welcome to join us in those efforts. And we work very closely with the ERIC Lab, is who UWO uses. That's their kind of subset. And Greg Kleinheitz is amazing. If you happen to know him, I could sing his praises all day. 25 seconds left.
We're done.
Sam, could you quickly just tell us what are the most popular programs and what are the ones that you think you would really like to expand other than those that you already have mentioned?
So I would say our most popular are luminary lit hikes and kind of the more social gathering. And I think that's because people are really looking for ways to get introduced to nature, and it's very accessible. But one of the things that we're starting to see is people are looking for more hands-on and kind of what I'm calling passive programming. So providing them with opportunities where we provide some guidance for about 30 minutes and then allowing them to explore the context of our preserves on their own terms. And we see that by far pays the most dividends. Sorry.
Thank you, Sam. Now I'd like to introduce Barb Groutman. There she is. Barb Groutman is serving as a delegated speaker for Gretchen Schmelzert and will be presenting Stride.
Hello, everyone. I think we all know of at least one teen who is struggling with anxiety, prolonged sadness, a desperate desire to belong, and many other issues that plague today's youth. Did you know that in Door County, 50% of our high school students report experiencing prolonged sadness and anxiety? That's 1 in every 2 students in our community. And not only are these teens suffering, but this also has an impact on their families, teachers, classmates, coaches, in fact, our entire community. Families face real barriers to care, such as cost, lack of insurance, transportation challenges, and limited provider availability, which means long wait lists. This means that a child may not be able to receive the care that they need, so they go on struggling. I ask you to close your eyes and put yourself in the shoes of a struggling teen and imagine what that is like. You have these feelings of anxiety and sadness, panic sometimes, and who knows what else, and you have no one to turn to. How do you feel? How do you even get up in the morning and face your day? STRIDE is a program of United Way of Door County, and our mission is simple: to ensure that every young person from kindergarten through high school in Door County has access to quality mental health services by removing these barriers to care. STRIDE is a collaborative school-based mental health initiative that embeds services directly into all public schools across Door County, including Washington Island. By bringing care to where students already are, we remove the biggest barriers and ensure students receive timely, regular, compassionate support in a familiar environment. Through this unique collaboration, we partner directly with 10 different providers located throughout Door County and Northeast Wisconsin. Through these partnerships, we place licensed therapists right inside the schools, providing one-on-one counseling during the school day. By connecting the student, the school, and the healthcare provider, we create a solution that actually works. In the 2024 to 25 school year alone, 70 Door County youth received individual STRIDE counseling services, and the results are noteworthy. Over half of those students experienced decreases in these areas: emotional symptoms, stress, conduct problems, hyperactivity, and peer relationship problems. And half of the students saw an increase in pro-social behavior. These numbers aren't just statistics. They represent young people who are coping better, learning healthier ways to interact, and thriving both at school and at home. Since launching in 2018, STRIDE has served more than 600 students countywide, and we have never turned away a child due to inability to pay or lack of insurance. In addition to the one-on-one counseling, STRIDE Creative uses art therapy to help students build emotional resilience and confidence. Programs like the Mighty Teens Empowerment Project and summer camps teach communication, problem solving, and emotional regulation in a safe, supportive environment. But even with this impact, the need continues to outpace the resources. Each year, dozens of students remain on wait lists, young people who are asking for help but must wait to receive it. STRIDE operates on a modest annual budget of $110,000, with 68% funded by the 1923 fund. Continued community support is essential to sustain these services. So that's why we're here today. A donation from 100 plus women who care would go directly towards funding one-on-one provider hours, ensuring that these services continue to be available for students in the 2026 to 27 school year. So now I ask you to close your eyes again. Now imagine that you are that same teen, but now you have help. Someone is committed to working with you on a regular basis to help you through your trials and feelings. Now when you wake up in the morning, someone is reaching for your hand and you see the sunshine. Now how do you feel? This doesn't just change their life, but it strengthens their families, their schools, and our entire community. So by investing in STRIDE, you are investing in the well-being, resilience, and future of Door County youth. Thank you for your time, your compassion, and your commitment to making a difference.
Thank you, Bob. Yeah, now I would like to welcome from United Way, Bob Shogren, Community Impact Coordinator, Education and Mental Wellness, and Executive Director, Amy. Are you coming up to? She's back up. Okay, all right, welcome.
Thanks. Good evening, everyone.
I have two questions. First is, do you have a certified social worker that's at each school on a regular basis? And how are the students identified that will receive services?
So I think that's a great question. And first of all, we work in partnership with the school staff. So they have licensed social workers on staff, and we work with the school counselors, and the school counselors refer the students to Stride. And I think also students can be self-referred.
So I know that you said that it was stated that 1923 does the bulk of your funding. How is the rest of your program funded, and what is that relationship with United Way with them being an United Way program?
Ladies and gentlemen, Amy Connolly.
Thanks, Beth. So the rest of the funding comes from citizens such as yourselves, local foundations. We do some fundraisers on occasion. And then on occasion, our internal partner programs such as Stride, Partnership for Children and Family, also apply to United Way for funding. So they're treated the same as, say, Help of Door County, the Sexual Assault Center. They go through the same grant process.
Thank you.
Do your counselors, providers offer virtual visits?
I think they all do in-person visits to all of the schools, and they're all on school sites except for Washington Island, and they do virtual visits.
Thank you. What exactly is the 1923 program funding?
It's a local family foundation.
Hi, are there actually more therapists who are looking for more hours, more paid hours?
So we engage 10 therapists, and I think they're all working as much as they can, pretty much. They're also in their own practices, so this is kind of in addition to and on top of.
But if you know of more therapists, we will take them.
Absolutely.
Amy, are there parenting classes available in the schools?
That would be the other hat Bob wears with the Partnership for Children and Families. So that program, which has received 100+ women funding in the past, they provide parenting programming, and we can talk about that later.
Is the counseling for students somewhat confidential?
It's absolutely HIPAA compliant. So it's between the counselor and the student.
Oops. Can I get this one?
How do you find and help those young people who may be reluctant to reach out due to any stigma kind of surrounding that?
I think, we do get referrals from school counselors. I don't know how they self-identify, but I think that, given their educational performance, I think they get referred to the program.
When a student turns 18 and they're leaving high school, is there some sort of transition process to receive care outside of high school if they need to continue it?
Great question. So Stride is only during the school year. So whether it's summer for any age student or when they turn 18, high school graduation, that conversation happens between their therapist and them if they want to go on to a self-pay program for summer or after graduation.
Just quickly, I was wondering if there's any group presentations or programs so children who would be reluctant to self-identify might come forward.
You looked at me. Okay. So on occasion, there's group presentations. Speakers go into the school. The art therapy side of things, that Mighty Teens Empowerment Program, the art summer camp, those are really targeted for some of those kids because it's an easier way to think about mental wellness rather than therapy per se. So giving them different resources in that way.
Thank you, Amy and Bob. Now I'd like to introduce Tammy Grossman presenting Door County Therapy Dog Teams. Welcome, Tammy.
Good evening. My name is Tammy Grossman, and I represent the Door County Dog Therapy Team, which is a 100% volunteer-run nonprofit serving the entire Door community from the southern region to the peninsula tip. Our mission is simple but powerful. We bring comfort, connection, and healing through certified dog teams. But what we truly provide goes deeper than a visit. We provide a meaningful mental health support for both the people we visit and the volunteers who serve. We deliver this impact through 3 main programs: puppy and therapy dog classes, volunteer therapy dog visits, and ongoing training and education. In just 1 year, our teams have completed hundreds of visits, reaching individuals who truly need connection and support. I got involved with the Door County Dog Therapy after meeting Julie at a 100+ Women Who Cares meeting. I just moved to Door County and was looking for ways to get involved in the community, and Julie told me about the nonprofit, and I have an 11-year-old corgi, Hobbs, and we went through the training. It was a great way for Hobbs and I to bond, and it gave him some stimulation. We volunteered at Sunshine House and the Boys and Girls Club until he retired this last December at the age of 14. One of our therapy dogs has made a huge impact on the life of a nursing home resident named Mary. Mary had become quiet and withdrawn. She rarely spoke, and staff were concerned about her isolation. Then one day, a therapy dog named Daisy visited. Daisy gently placed her head on Mary's knee, and something changed. Mary smiled, her first genuine smile in weeks. She began talking again about her life, her memories, and her past. When the visit ended, she whispered, "This made my whole day." That moment is what we do. This isn't just a story. It's something we see backed by research. 82% of people in therapy dog programs report reduced anxiety. 70% of seniors experienced improved mood after visits. Therapy dog interaction can lower blood pressure and reduce stress hormones. In children, emotional well-being improves in up to 71% of cases. I personally witnessed this at the Boys and Girls Club. Children who had a rough day in school were often waiting to visit with Hobbs, and you could just see them relaxing and feeling better in minutes. Just 12 minutes with a dog can significantly reduce stress. Because therapy dogs provide something truly unique, a non-judgmental, unconditional connection. Here's another example. One student came into our reading program as a reluctant reader, nervous, hesitant, and lacking confidence. After 6 weeks of reading regularly with the therapy dog, something shifted. And one day, she said something simple but powerful: "I love reading." At one of our visit locations, a staff member was having a particularly difficult day, feeling overwhelmed and emotionally drained. During the visit, one of our therapy dogs walked right up to her, leaned in, and simply stayed by her side. Sometimes it's not just the people we expect to help, it's the helpers too. Through our visits, we reduce loneliness and isolation in nursing homes and care facilities, lower anxiety and stress in students, patients, and individuals in crisis, provide emotional healing through a calm, comforting presence. In schools, children gain confidence. In jails, individuals open up. In healthcare settings, people feel seen, heard, and comforted. What makes our program especially powerful is that the impact goes both ways. Many of our handlers experience loneliness or life transitions, like myself, moving to a new community, and they are looking for purpose and connection. Being part of a therapy dog team gets them out into the community, gives them a renewed sense of purpose, improves their own mental well-being, and improves their own mental well-being. One volunteer shared, "I thought I was helping others, but this has helped me just as much." Your support directly helps us to train new therapy dogs, to expand visits to more schools, seniors, and community programs, provide essential equipment and safe training environments, continue delivering mental health support at no cost. The need continues to grow. 1 in 5 adults experience mental health challenges, and many never receive the support they need. We help fill that gap, one visit at a time. In closing, at the heart of everything we do is connection. With your support, we can continue bringing comfort, healing, and connection to Door County, spreading happiness one dog at a time.
Thank you, Tammy. Okay, now Julie, I'd like to introduce Julie LaLuzerne, Door County Therapy Dog Teams Coordinator. Welcome, Julie.
Thank you. Any questions?
Yes. Can you tell us how the organization is currently funded?
So currently funded by a couple different ways. Classes. So each of the therapy dog teams, when they come to take the 6-week class, both in the classroom and in the field. So by classroom, private donations, and fundraising.
Julie, what qualities make a good therapy dog?
Yep. Great question. So it would be a dog that is calm, confident, basic obedience, gentle, and probably one of the biggest things is wanting to meet and socialize with people. There's a lot of dogs that are not interested in visiting. So that is definitely one of the top things.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Okay, I have a question. How many dog therapy teams participate and at how many different locations?
Yep. So we have approximately 40 therapy dog teams in our community, and they're visiting at about 20 plus different locations throughout the county. We'd like to expand that a little bit and get some other programs going, but having funding from you guys would help us grow that and expand.
Hi, thanks for coming tonight. Can you tell us what you will do with your award tonight, how exactly that money will be used?
Yes. So we're going to use it in a variety of different things. We're going to expand our education and training for our current therapy dogs. Just because they've gone through the class, we like to stay in touch with them on a regular basis. We like to do something monthly and have some kind of education thing to continue the education. We would like to enhance our equipment to make more real life situations. So bringing in equipment like other noises that they hear in nursing homes, buzzers, beepers. It's amazing when we bring them in the field, what a difference it is just being in the classroom. So just enhancing all of those things.
What would be a typical, let's say, monthly time commitment for a therapy dog team out in the community?
Yep. So each of our teams, we let them decide on their own what best fits their needs. Some of them they're going 3 times a week. Some teams I have that are going 2-3 times a day to visiting. So there isn't really a typical or a normal. It's really up to the team and the dog and team. Because remember, we have to be our advocate for the dog. So if the dog is getting burnout, we need to pull back. So hard question to answer, but yes, it's kind of whatever fits. Some people are retired and have more time. Unlike myself, I work a full-time job, so I don't get to do it as much as I would like to, but hopefully someday down the road.
What's your annual budget?
What's our annual budget? So we are very small. We're about 10,000 right now, but we've had some significant changes. We actually are now in our own location. So that goes with a whole bunch of other costs of, the rent and purchasing equipment to get where we are. The great thing about being all in one location is previously we had stuff scattered in 4 or 5 different locations, which made it very difficult and not very efficient. So our budget's going to go up probably somewhere around 20 to 30,000 with all of our expenses.
Are any of your expenses towards salaries?
No, we are 100% volunteer. Absolutely no money goes to anyone. All of our teams, all the expenses are on them. That costs gas, time, travel. The same for me. I do all of everything. I teach all the classes. So sometimes I'm teaching 3 classes in a night. It's all 100% volunteer. Yeah. Oh, you're welcome.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, it is time to vote. And just remember, virtual attendees, you can vote online now. And remember, 1 vote per team. Thank you. Okay, I think all the votes are in. All right, I'm gonna move right along to our business update, everybody. I have to turn my mouse off. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Great presentations, huh? Yeah. Okay, since we started in July 2018 through the meeting tonight, we'll have raised over $867,000 for 76 local nonprofits. So well done, everybody. You guys are making this happen. So well done. And I was just thinking about rate of return, and that's a 370% rate of return. So that's pretty good too. So another way to look at it. And we're happy to tell you that Dora Tran received the full $5,000 match for the Richard M. Schultz Family Foundation. So thank you, Amy Conley, for that nomination. And just to add a little bit to the story behind these numbers, we wanted to share a little bit about the evolution of the 100+ Women Who Care Giving Circle and the impact we have together. So when we first started off, we were thinking health and human services as far as the nonprofit sector where we were going to support. But as we've grown, it's become clear that nonprofits across all sectors serve a vital role in making Door County special. And Door County is unique, right? We're surrounded by water. We are a vacation destination. We have parks, trails, art, theater, history. All of these things make Door County what it is. And these nonprofits support our local community by providing services, jobs, and bringing in tourism revenue. So philanthropy is a critical part of supporting these organizations where services are often free, as noted in Lana's presentation, or ticket prices cover only a fraction of true costs. So we just wanted to share that with you, that all nonprofits are important. And the giving events are an opportunity to learn about the many nonprofit organizations supporting our Door County community. And also to support one another in our 100+ Women Who Care community, because we're supporting each other's passions and lifting people up and helping those people spread awareness about the organizations that they are passionate about and have nominated for the hat. One live streaming, I put that on there because we've been live streaming almost from the beginning, early on. It was a little rough at first, but we but we wanted to make the 100 Who Care available to all residents, full-time and seasonal residents. And that was one of the barriers for seasonal residents, that they weren't here for 3/4 of the year. And so we started live streaming so that they could participate as well and support Door County. And it's also come in handy for like weather events, illness, travel, etc. So that's a little background there. And then this is something that I want to share with you. We received a notice from Fidelity that they're not going to do checks anymore. They're going to just only do electronic transfers. And there's several people, I don't have a count, that use Fidelity to do their donations. So I wrote up instructions. This was going to be effective July 1st. I wrote up some instructions based on an test site that they had, and they're up on the table here if you're interested. We'll get more information out on that. But it brought to light that for any investment accounts or donor advised funds, anything like that, if you're setting up that donation on their platform, have the money go to the Door County Community Foundation, and then in the memo or the note say it's for the 100+ Women Who Care, and it'll get to the right place. So there's that. And then here's our new members since our last giving event. So is anybody here, you want to stand? Can you stand up if you're new? Can you stand if you're new? Welcome, welcome. I don't know if anybody got that, but welcome everybody. And thank you all for your referrals. It's really important. With that, now on to the fun stuff. I'd like to introduce Susie Cotter. It's on to the good stuff.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to our new members. I'm Susie Cotter. I'm representing a social team that we have here with 100 Women Who Care. We've been together since the beginning. We've tried all different kinds of things to bring us together outside of the meetings and social events. And so we've got a few ready for the summer, which is really exciting. We're not normally this organized. So first up, If you were here in January or watching online, I spoke about an evening with Spot or at SIP. Yenny, as you know, and her team have helped us the last few years up at our Warm Hands, Warm Hearts event with a fashion show, which has always been a lot of fun. And I think our participants, the members who have done it, have had a lot of fun. And so during the winter, she mentioned she'd like to do something. They had so much fun with everybody. Let's have a fun girls' night out. So a night of shopping and some nibbles and bubbly. And so we're going to do just that. On May 13th, after hours at Spot right here in Egg Harbor at that location, you are all welcome to come. There's no registration, just the doors will be open for us. There'll be bites and nibbles and bubbly, and we'll have a fashion show. So we are looking for a few 100 plus members to be models. So think about that. Those girls make it so fun. And I think all the other gals who've done this at the holiday show would tell you how great it is. It's really fun and everybody's happy to be there. And, you know, we're having bubbly. So remember that. And there'll be sweet discounts that night. I think they are offering a 20% discount, which is really great too. So I hope that we'll get a nice group there. Yenny and her team will be near the door and they'll be handing out some little talk cards. So that'll be a friendly reminder. That's just, let's see, is it 2 weeks from Wednesday, right? Yeah. So think about that. And then I'm jumping ahead a little bit. Again, organized. Can you believe it? I know it's blowing my mind here that we already have this. So the Tuesday after Labor Day, this is going to be our annual Sunset Cruise, Tuesday, September 8th, up in Sister Bay at the marina there. Many of you have done it. Last year we had 100 members there on the boat. So much fun. There's music, the sunset. You can't go wrong. So all this information will be up on our website. It'll be on our members' Facebook page. And so we'll be able to have the link directly to that. I actually already signed up. They give us a 50% discount off on the adult ticket. So it's a great ticket. It's a great night. Everybody, I think, if you talk to them, they'll let you know we all had a great time, and you bring your own food and drink, and it's really fun. So, but before that, Tammy Grossman and her team over at Birch Creek Music have offered a really generous ticket this summer. So as you can see, the tickets for all those beautiful music events that they have there are normally $37. And with your discount code WOMEN, you can get a ticket for $24. Those kids and those professors are amazing. I'm sure most of you have heard them throughout the county. So thank you, Tammy, and thank you to Birch Creek for offering that to us. So that's what we got going on for the summer. Thank you.
Thank you, Susie. All right, lots of good stuff. Here's our elevator pitch. Should we say it together? Do good, feel good, gather, have fun with 100 plus WWC. Okay. And here's my button slide. This is on our homepage. It's a great place to refer people. It's easy to join us here. And for you that want to nominate, it's a very easy process. There's a button for that. If you're looking to do your donations, right there. And Bonnie Spielman from Head has set up an online store for us so you can find 100 plus WWC apparel. So with that, we are going to hear from the Climate Change Coalition of Door County. They received an award in January of 2025, and they received $16,800. And thank you to Mary Morador, I know you're here, for nominating them. And with that, I'll welcome, let's see, Jill Newman. She's the Earth and Arts Lab Leader. She's going to present, and then Jeff Lepsey, Executive Director, will join in for Q&A. So welcome, Jill.
Thank you. First, I just want to say how amazed I am by what you all do. This is the first time I've been here, and it's really remarkable to see all of you gather and pool your money and your talent and your ideas and your hopes and really make things happen that, to use your phrase, you do good and you feel good about it. So hopefully you'll feel good about what you've done for the Climate Change Coalition. And thank you for having us here and for funding what we've been working on for the last year and a quarter. When asked why focus on youth, the answer from the Earth and Climate Change Coalition was very clear. Young people today will be the stewards of our climate, and they will be charged with the health of our planet. And the Climate Change Coalition wanted to engage youth in a way very specifically that inspired them without scaring them about the state of where things are at this moment. This particular photo is from the Earth and Climate Arts Lab Gibraltar After School program this fall. This is about midstream through a project where the children designed a layout for trees on the north part of the campus and then planted them in a permanent installation that will grow into a creative space. These kids continue to feel very deeply connected to that project as well as to the site. It's a small example of what can happen when environmental learning becomes something that students don't simply receive, but they shape and they can take ownership of. The Climate Change Coalition has a strong history of partnerships across Door County. So the Earth and Climate Art Lab was able to build upon that, but add to the Climate Change Coalition a very new type of programming. Arts integration simply means that non-art content is learned through the arts. So for example, if you were going to learn about Artemis II through dancing, you would be learning space exploration through performance art. Almost any content can be explored through almost any art form. In this case, visual arts integration invites environmental learning to be felt in addition to being understood. Through observing, reflecting, and making, knowledge becomes personal. Students are creatively expressing both what they learn and as a means to deepen their learning. This shift from absorbing information or demonstrating that they've learned something through a singular act becomes a place where there's ongoing reflection and personal expression. And it's what makes this model particularly powerful. So this program exists where three needs intersect. And it's also where the Climate Change Coalition's fluency and collaboration becomes incredibly powerful. The Climate Change Coalition is the teal circle. So they had the desire and need to develop more youth environmental engagement. Penn Art is the magenta circle, and they had a developing desire to create connections between art and the environment in our community. And the orange circle is the gap in youth arts enrichment that exists for Gibraltar as well as for homeschool kids. Not only them, but we have to start somewhere. Where these three needs come together is where the Earth and Climate Arts Lab has emerged. So this program deepens work that the Climate Change Coalition was already engaged in. They already did meet and continue to meet about 100 youth per year through presentations at schools and clubs and inviting young people in tree planting. And this work continues to be important, but what this new model of the Earth and Climate Arts Lab adds to that is something a little bit different. It's a sustained model where relationships are built and place-based learning happens. So what does that mean? That means that even if a student only takes one class ever, it's still a minimum of 4 consecutive weeks at 2 hours at a time. But most students take an 8-week class 2 hours at a time, and they take it over and over and over again. So their learning and caring about the environment is enriched by the ongoing relationships that they develop and through the repeated shared creative experiences that they have with one another. And the place where they have it starts to become their own. That studio is their studio, and that campus is their campus. In the spring of 2025, which is the grant cycle that you funded, 36 students took classes both in the homeschool and Gibraltar after school cohorts. Since then, we've had 92 total enrollments, with about 75% of those students returning and taking multiple classes. Some of them have taken every single one available to them. There are scholarships available, so students can take these classes free of charge if they have the need. So there's a strong demand for what we're doing. But the most important part of this shift is that it's going from periodic or one-time participation to ongoing and regular development. And it's that really leads to environmental stewardship and caring for the climate over time. But what you really made possible, which is truly amazing, is not just the classes the 36 students took in the spring period that was funded, but what you really funded was the incubation of the program. You funded the thought and planning and the expertise that has to go into the development and creation of a program that truly works. So this includes ideas around curriculum, around methodology, around structure. It means that we had time to identify who the program could serve and how to reach them, that we were able to create systems for transportation and for communication. It also allowed us to design something that was very meaningful for students and also help their parents who were trying to get some work done while they were in class. This investment didn't just fund the classes, it funded the creation of a program that is not going away. Penn Art is completely committed to it and committed to the collaboration with the Climate Change Coalition. It is ongoing, it's sustainable, and it has a lot of possibility for growth to appeal and provide for students outside of these 2 cohorts and in other age brackets. So I just want to thank you so much for your support and for making this kind of long-term impact possible.
I have to get situated. So thank you to Ann M. for filling in for me during the moderation part. So we have just a couple of our standard updates about nonprofits. First of all, we've got 26 nonprofits in the hat, which is our largest hat in 2 years. So way to go. Nominations. And also interesting, so as a reminder, this was actually the aged hat drawing. So the first 2 nonprofits have been in the hat for over 3 years. So very interesting. So 2 of the hats were in the, 2 of the nonprofits were in the hat for 1,372 days. And 1 was extra lucky and they were in the hat for 0 days. So we have the extremes of the luck of the draw. So the average age of the nonprofits in the hat is now 344, which makes it the youngest hat in 3 years. So one, we just had the aged hat drawing, so that helped. But then also, you're going to see in a moment that we had 8 new nominations this quarter. And so they're all, of course, drawing the average down. So interesting to see what's going on with the hat. So this is the list. Thank you to Donna for vetting in the red hat here, which is in my little basket. And so you can see the 8 new ones in blue that were added this quarter. So again, thanks to all of you for bringing those nominations forward. That's what keeps us going. And so with that, I need a volunteer. How about Lorna, since she's in front? We're going to shake up the hat and we need to draw 3 for next time. Okay, number 1 is Door County Bridges. Number 2 is Door County Secret Santa. And one more. Dig deep. Dig deep. Stir them up. Okay. And number 3 for the July meeting is the Door County Environmental Council. Congratulations to all of them. So tonight's award, it's at almost 37,000. So just a reminder, the main award recipient receives 50% of the awards. So that'll be 18,500 roughly. And the runners up 9,250 each. And just a reminder that the nonprofits tonight don't get paid until all of you have paid. So this is the shameless plug to make sure that you're getting your quarterly payments in. So with that, it's in my basket. Yeah. Okay, and the main award this evening goes to, okay, so this is the first. And so kudos to Ann Morgan because she double checked on what we need to do. It's actually a tie. So it's our first tie, but we were prepared. So in fact, the tie is between Crossroads at Big Creek and Stride. And so our rules, which we've had documented for some time, say that what happens in that case is the 2 nonprofits who are tied split 75% of the total award. And so that means roughly $13,875 each. Yes. And then the third receives the 25%. Yes. So, wow, we're setting a So, the board has talked about this. It's like, what do we do if there's a tie? And so, of course, we came up with something that's like, oh, that's never going to happen. But again, kudos to Ann Morgan. Oops.
Thank you, Ann. And just a couple things before we wrap up. The nonprofit nominators and nonprofit representatives and board members, please go to the back of the room for pictures. Turn in your name tags on the way out. If you have any checks that you want to drop off, turn those in. Sign the banner on your way out if you haven't already. And our next meeting's July 27th. And our quote tonight is, "Where there is a woman, there is magic," by Ntuzagi Shanghege. And I would just want to say, you are the magic. So have a good night. Thank you for coming.